Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is going to be a quick overview of my 2009 Mustang GT that I've been building. Got a supercharger and a bunch of other upgrades. Just got done doing the math on it. I think we've got about $12,600 into this car at this point. I bought it when it was new back in 2009. I paid $28,000 for it. And after tax, title, and license, and interest and all that on the loan, I think I ended up at about $32,000 to own it outright. So that means I've got somewhere around $44,500 into it at this point. Let's go over some of the mods we've got going on. This is a Department of Boost 2nd Gen intercooler manifold with the composite heat shield on the bottom. It's got the two-piece design compared to the one-piece design, so that the water channel for your cooling is completely separated from the intercooler manifold, so there's no heat transfer through the manifold. That would bring your intake air temps up. It would cut timing and you would lose power. It's got a M122 Eaton supercharger off a 07 to 09 GT500. It's been heavily ported, just about as much as you can possibly port it without destroying the O-ring gaskets on it. JLT 123 millimeter cold air intake with a stock GT500 throttle body. It has 47-pound GT500 style injectors. All you do is you swap the fuel rails left to right to use this kit, and they adapt to the GT500 fuel injectors pretty much no problem. It's got the stock supercharger pulley that comes with the kit, so it runs around 12, anywhere between 11 and 13 pounds of boost. Typically it's around 12 pounds of boost, and it's currently making 480 rear wheel horsepower, 450 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a stock bottom end, stock transmission, and I just upgraded to a Mcleod RST twin disc clutch because the stock clutch over here finally gave out after about maybe a week of use after putting this supercharger on it. We're using the 2013 to 2014 heat exchanger. It's a larger heat exchanger than came on the rest of the models. And then it's just got a Bosch 07 to 09 water pump down here. You probably can't see it, but it's right here. I've got another one on back order. I've got the 13 to 14 pump on back order, which is an upgraded pump that'll flow a little bit more and help keep my intake air temps down. A couple other modifications, just quick modifications, is the wiring to the fuel pump driver module. Because we've got a Walbro 400 liter per hour fuel pump upgrade. And when you upgrade your fuel pump, you definitely need to upgrade the sending wire to the fuel pump drive module. Wheels, we've got Steeda Ultra-lite Series 1s. They don't make these anymore. They are low pressure forged aluminum rims. They're very light. If I remember, I think they weigh 18 pounds a piece. Just the rim without the tire on it. But while the tire's on it, it's still extremely light. I can pick it up with one hand, no problem. We've got upgraded Brembo brakes. Those are off a GT500. I found them on eBay, probably, I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And they were very cheap because they were not in working condition. I had to buy a new repair kit to repair all the seals. I broke them down, repaired the seals. These were originally black. You can see my crappy paint job that's starting to finally, after 4 years, peel and come off. I used just regular old caliper paint, and I designed this up in CAD, had somebody make me a stencil, so I was able to paint it and then remove the stencil. So this is actually paint. It looks stock, but this is an aftermarket paint job I did. So I bought these, sandblasted them, repaired them, painted them, put them on the car. They work great. They came with the rotors as well off of GT500. Again, if I remember, I think I paid anywhere between like $250 to $300 for the set of them. So it was a pretty good buy. Can't really see it up in there. You can see a little bit of that orange. We've got Koni STR.T dampers. No, you really can't see it over here either. Koni STR.T dampers on all four corners. Eibach Sportline springs on all four corners as well. It's a pretty big drop. I think it's one of the lowest you can go on this car without going to some type of air ride suspension. Rear brakes are a Baer Errataspeed kit. It's a big billet aluminum spacer that moves the caliper out so you can fit a 14-inch rotor back here. And these are two-piece rotors. Eventually, when my rotors in the front give out, I will be replacing those with some two-piece rotors as well. Yeah, you're looking at drilled rotors. The only reason they're drilled is because they didn't have just slotted in stock. And that was years ago. I didn't want to wait. But, you know, eventually when these give out, if they start cracking, which I haven't noticed any stress fracturing around the drills, the drill holes, but if they ever do, I'll replace them with just some slotted ones. It's got a H&R sway bar kit with the Sam Strano Racing front sway bar adjustable billet end links. It's got the Steeda adjustable upper control arm support for camber caster. I usually just set them max all the way out, and it runs around what stock is. And then if I ever go out to the track, push them all the way into the inside, because I mostly do road course racing. Moving on to, let's see, I think that's all we've got for the front end. We've still got the stock front control arms. Roush degas bottle right here. Roush makes one that is pretty OEM looking, fits right there. The only thing is you have to relocate your power steering pump reservoir. I'll eventually be trying to go to the electric power assisted steering so I can get rid of this and have a little bit more room. Gets rid of your power steering pump down here as well. Tightens up this whole belt area so you can use a smaller belt, and it just makes it a little bit cleaner. Rear suspension. What we've got going on is a full rear suspension. We've got a Phase 2 Watts link right here. We've got the H&R sway bar. Again, we've got BMR lower control arm relocating brackets. We have the Steeda Billet lower control arms. It's poly on the car side, polyurethane bushing on the car side, and then the spherical bearing on the rear end side. The rear end side, not inside, but the rear end side. And what that allows the rear end to do is move without those polyurethanes binding up on the rear end. So it actually allows the rear end to move a little bit more freely when you're cornering pretty hard. It also has a spherical bearing replacement in the upper control arm bell housing. You have to push out the OEM rubber bushing and then install a spherical bearing in there. And then there's a adjustable upper control arm going to a heavy-duty Steeda upper control arm bracket. And what that allowed me to do is to correct the driveline angle like this after I lowered the car. It's very important that you do that, because that can cause excessive wear on your drive shaft U-joints, can lead to premature failure. You definitely don't want that. So the rear end has fully spherical bearings, including the Phase 2 Watts link. The Phase 2 Watts link also has nothing but spherical bearings on it. There's no polyurethane to be had. So it's all spherical on the rear end side, and then it's all polyurethane bearings on the frame side. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Spherical and everything would be very noisy and very very rough whereas the poly kind of helps dampen that noise and a little bit of the roughness when you're either coming to a stop or getting going again. I've got Bassani axle backs, stock exhaust all the way back except for these axle backs. Still got the cats as well. To me, that stuff really doesn't matter as much as just, you know, putting more boost to the engine or having your suspension correctly set up. Trying to think if there's anything else that we've done to the car. That's all I can think of for right now. I'll come back and edit at the end of the video if there's anything else. I'll show you the interior. It's a full interior car. Haven't really messed with anything. Replaced the door speakers, the 6x8s, and then the 6x8s in the rear. And then we've, of course, added a little gauge pod. We have dual AFR gauges and then a boost gauge. Yeah, it's pretty much it. Eventually, I would like to be somewhere around 650 at the wheels, maybe 800 at the wheels. That's going to require a built bottom end, an upgraded transmission since we're still on the stock TR3650. We'll be moving to a T56 Magnum XL probably, and that'll be good for 1,000 rear wheel horsepower, 800 foot-pounds of torque. And then we'll be putting in most likely a Manley forged bottom end. That again should be good for around 1,000 rear wheel horsepower. I think that's it. Stainless steel brake lines, of course. Still got the stock clutch line. 410s in the rear end. I did swap to 410s, but I'm thinking about swapping back to the original 331s because at this point, first gear is basically useless. It's so short and there's just way too much power to put it down on the ground with the kind of tires we're running. We are running the Nitto NT555 R2s, which are R comps. So they're very sticky, but it's still a street tire. So it's still hard to hook up even with 275s in the rear. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. If I think of anything else, I'll edit it towards the end of the video. Thanks for checking out this video. Thanks for checking out the channel. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content as we go forward.